You've got a buyer and you just made an offer on a house that's getting multiple offers. How do you get your buyer's offer to win? There's some things you can do that's going to help the situation and help your buyer win. That's what we're about to talk about. My name is Jonathan Goforth, and I've been selling houses for 23 years, a long time. I rode the market way up back in 2003 and 2004 and 5 and 6, and then went through the bad market in 2007 and 8 and 9 for a few years. But now we have a very unique market. Part of it's already been going on before the coronavirus started with a very strong seller's market. But now with coronavirus, we have even a lower amount of inventory, not enough listings. That means it's a very strong seller's market with a lot of buyers feasting over very few listings. So a few years ago, I wrote a book called How to Sell Homes in a Tough Market. It's available at Barnes & Noble, Amazon. You can order it from any bookstore in the country. And then last year, I got to be listed in Forbes Magazine as one of the top market leaders in the country. And that was for 2019. This one's for 2020. And I'm excited to be listed in Forbes Magazine again this year. So I have experience. I've personally sold hundreds and hundreds of houses. Here are some things that you can do when you have a buyer and you've just made an offer on a listing and it has multiple offers. And you don't know how many offers it's going to get, but you do know it's going to be getting multiple offers. And so here's some things that you need to be doing. Most of what I do are listings. So I'm going to tell you what a lot of these buyer's agents do that's good and what a lot of them do that's not good. This is everything I do. So I still sell a lot of houses with buyers, even this year. And I do all of this. You've got to do all of this if you want to give your buyer the best shot at winning this house. The first thing, when you write an offer and you send it over to the listing agent, don't just email it. So you've emailed it, that's how they got your offer. You need to text them and say, hi, I'm about to send you an offer, but you've got to call them and not bug them, because it's annoying when buyer's agents bug me, because let's say it's my listing and I've got 20 showings over 2 days. I've already got 5 offers, potentially 4 or 5 more offers about to come in. I don't want all these agents calling me over and over and over because I'm on the phone with everyone else trying to answer questions. What you need to do though, you still need to call them at least once, leave them a message, and explain, I just sent you an offer, ask to make sure they receive the offer. You won't believe this, but I got an offer a couple of weeks ago. I had a listing with multiple offers. Somebody thought they sent me an offer. They never called me to see if I got it. They didn't type in my email address correctly. I never got the offer, and they didn't even get their offer presented. Well, we had multiple offers and sold it with multiple offer situations. So make sure that listing agent gets your offer. Also, when you email it over, keep in mind, they are probably getting offers from a lot of other people. They all have a similar title. Here's an offer on 123 Main Street. Well, that's what the other 3 agents just sent them. So sometimes it's a little bit hard to keep track of all these different offers. Now, when you call, what you want to ask the listing agent is, what's most important to the seller? What does the seller want? Because the highest offer doesn't always win. You would be amazed. Say you get 5 offers and they're all within $1,000 or $2 apart. The big things that's going to set this apart could be financing, could be they're taking out a conventional loan and they're putting 50% down. Well, that's going to carry a lot of weight because you're going to have to deal with an appraisal. And the safest offer is going to probably generate the highest, safest appraisal coming in. Now, what is most important to the seller? It could be a closing date. That's usually what it's going to be. There might be a specific date that seller needs. If that seller is already under contract to buy another house, then they've got a closing date on their future house. If you can make it match what they need, you are probably about to win, assuming all the other offers aren't also calling and doing the same thing. Another thing you could do, I just had one. My seller was older. The house had a lot of things in it. We were prepared to just sell it as is. The buyer said they were welcome to leave everything in the house they didn't want. Well, the things in the house weren't really nice enough or had enough value to do an estate sale. So they were gonna call 1-800-GOT-JUNK. That totally won because the price was close enough. We did not go with the number one offer in price, but this offer saved my seller money not having to go with 1-800-GOT-JUNK to clean out their house. So that's something you can think of doing also. Another thing you can think of is closing on a certain date and allowing the seller to stay in their house for 2 or 3 days after closing. Sellers love that. Now, if the house is vacant, it doesn't matter. Your buyer's going to get it at closing. So there are things that you can do to sweeten your offer to make it much more attractive than the other offers. But remember, you've got to call. You've got to make contact with that listing agent because the other buyer's agents are doing that. And the more comfortable the listing agent feels with certain offers, those are going to be carrying more weight when the seller has to review 5 or 6 different offers. How are they going to decide? Especially when the top 3 offers are all the same price. What can you do that's most important to the seller? This is something that we didn't used to ever see until this market. But in a very strong seller's market, when you have multiple offers, if you can get your buyers to write a personal letter, you would be amazed at how much weight this will carry with some of your sellers. Now, it would seem kind of ridiculous that this would have so much impact, but it does. Now, me as a listing agent, so much of the time, when I have, say, 5 different offers and 3 of them have letters, now what we're gonna, and chances are those 3 letters are probably the best offers because they do want the house the most. Here's some tips on what to do with the letter. So, first of all, do not write a generic letter. So here's what could be happening. Your buyers, you and your buyers could have already missed out on 2 or 3 other listings. You've made an offer, multiple offers, you didn't get it, your buyers are crushed. They're hurt, they're angry, they're frustrated. Here comes another house on the market 4 days later. You race over there with a crowd of other people, you make an offer on it too. Your buyers do even better, they offer even a little bit more. So does everybody else, and yours don't get it again. So in going through a situation like that, if yours are writing a letter, they might be, I'm just gonna make a generic letter, we're gonna use the same letter on every house. Don't do that, because when I've seen these letters and I'm like, oh my gosh, they used this letter on the last listing they tried to buy. You've got to make it, and it is annoying for the buyer to have to redo the letter every time, but just tweak it a little bit. It's a personal letter. It's not a generic form letter. Put some, if they say, I love your house, you know, my wife's a nurse, I'm a programmer, we've been looking for a house just like this, we love your house so much, it's the perfect fit we've always wanted. You need to say in the letter, why is it the perfect fit? Maybe it's got a fantastic play set. Maybe it's got the best finished basement you've ever seen. Make it a personal letter. Put some things in there that will impress the homeowner that you truly do love their home. And I hate to say it, but the seller's gonna fall for that. You'd be amazed at how much that carries if the letter's well written. But do make it personal. Talk about your kid, the buyer's kids, the ages of those kids. Because the homeowner might think, oh, this is a perfect fit, because they probably love their neighbors that they're leaving behind. And think, oh, 2 of our neighbors have kids the exact same ages of this family. We want them to win. Even if their price isn't the highest, now your personal letter from the buyers is having a lot of impact. Keep in mind, if your buyers don't do this, some of the multiple offers out there, they are doing this. Now, this is one of the most aggravating things that I get as a listing agent. I get an offer, the first offer of the night, and they give me a 2-hour expiration. Well, that's not going to happen. We're not going to sell it in 2 hours. That's not in my seller's best interest. We're going to hold off for the whole night, probably the entire next day. We're going to see how many offers I do get. I'm going to announce to everyone that I have multiple offers. I'm going to put it in the MLS remarks. That's the first thing, so it is a very level playing field. There is no discrimination on certain agents who have already made offers and other buyers who are still out there about to look. I send out an email blast through our MLS. That only goes to the agents who have set up a showing, but they are notified I have multiple offers. I directly call and text every single offer I already have so they understand I have multiple offers now. They don't have to know how many offers, and you won't even know at this point. It's got to run its full course the whole rest of the night, probably the whole next day. But don't mess up your buyer by making this expire so fast that the listing agent can't deal with it. Even if your price is winning, the sellers cannot sign a contract that's already expired. You don't have a contract, especially if you have other offers already coming in. So give it enough time to let it run its course. Either your buyer's going to win or they're not. But don't just cancel out your offer before it even gets to be presented. So here's some other things that you can be doing as you put together your offer for your buyer during these multiple offers. Now, one thing I want to mention, as you get listings, so what I'm doing during this conversation with my sellers, and a lot of you will also have listings on your own while you're dealing with this buyer. I prepare my seller that we listed it at $200,000. I've got 5 offers. My lowest offer is full price at $200,000. My highest is $215,000. I've got another offer at $212,000. I've got 2 offers at $210,000. This is exciting. It's a dream come true. Oh my gosh, we're selling this for thousands of dollars, way over what it's really worth. If it was really worth $215,000, we would have priced it there to begin with. So prepare the seller. If this is on your listings, prepare your seller. It may not appraise. We might be coming right back down to 200 or 205, but if it could make $215,000, that's great. But don't start spending a lot of money thinking, oh my gosh, I'm rich. I'm getting thousands of dollars I didn't think I would ever get. Let it go all the way through this appraisal, and then let's get really excited, because a lot of houses are not appraising. In our market, it's amazing how many we're just selling them so high. There are no comps to support these prices. But here's some other things you can do. Number 6, now we're going to talk about this. There's a lot of emotion that's going in from your buyer if they've been burned on this once or twice already, and they're losing out on the houses they really wanted. Now they're resorting to taking it as is. So you've probably got an in its present addendum. It's an as is form. But there's some options on a document like this. They can take it purely as is and skip the inspection and say they're not going to even do an inspection, they're not going to renegotiate, they're not going to cancel. That's a little scary. If you do that on this type of a form, you need to have probably been in that house twice that same day. They need to check it out. They really need to be looking at things. If they've got an inspection friend, they need to rush over there and walk through it pretty quick, because this is a lot of risk. But what you can also do on this form, you can say the buyer's going to do all the inspections they're entitled to, but they will not renegotiate. But they can still cancel if they want to. That's a much better option for your buyer, so that they're just not taking all the risk on a house that they're really not familiar with the condition. I mean, you could have issues with that chimney. You could have issues with the foundation. There could be the furnace and air may not work great. That would be a good situation where you need a warranty in place. But keep in mind, a lot of these warranties want to see an inspection report. They want some kind of proof that the air conditioner was working at closing or during that process. If nobody's looked at this house, your warranty may not cover it. They could call it a pre-existing condition and the warranty company won't cover certain things. So if you're going to do this form, make sure that buyer is very comfortable with the condition that the house is in. Now, another thing that you can do, I don't like this form. I get these all the time. I use it myself, but I don't like it. There's an escalatory addendum. It's an additional form, and it says, in your contract, in your offer, you put a price. This is what the buyer's offering. But this form is attached to the contract, and it says, my buyer will pay even more. They'll pay, and these are blanks you fill in, they will pay $500 more than the highest price you have, up to a certain price. So let's say this house is listed for $200,000. You're going to do an escalatory form that says my buyer will pay up to $500 over $210,000. As a listing agent, now this is great for the seller, because, oh my gosh, no matter how high I go, I can get even more money from this other offer up to a certain price that they've capped themselves out at. Here's the dilemma that I have been burned on 2 or 3 different times in the last year. My listing, we picked the highest offer, which is going to probably be this. But this is an emotional document. The buyer wants it so bad, but they don't know what to pay. They don't know what to offer. They're terrified they're going to lose, but they don't want to just offer $210,000 if the other multiple offers are only $201,000 and $202,000. Why do that if you don't have to? But do they want to pay $210,500? No, they don't. They're going to be forced into that situation because there's another offer at $210,000. What I've had happen, we take that offer, they do inspections, now they've had a week to think about it, and at inspections they realize, oh my gosh, what have we done? We've way overpaid. We didn't really want to pay $210,500, and they cancel the contract. Now, I have to go back and contact the other buyers who made multiple offers, but I've lost the urgency. I've lost my ability to oversell it. Some of those other offers, 7 or 8 days have passed, maybe all 10 days have passed during their inspection phase, and now I don't have any multiple offers. That's the risk as a listing agent taking this type of situation. Now, where it gets really weird is if you have 5 offers, 3 of them all did escalatory addendums. Oh my gosh, it's complicated and it's just not fun. What I'm going to tell you as a buyer's agent, talk to your buyers and come in strong. Just to offer what they really want to pay. Because here is the dilemma in this market for a buyer. How much is too high? If that house is listed for $210,000 How high are they really willing to go? Will they go as high as 215? Will they go as high as 2.25? If they'll go as high as 2.25, they should probably look at other houses that are listed at maybe 210 and try to get something where it's not so crazy, because if that house appraises for $225,000 that was listed for $200, is it really worth that in another year when we're not in this crazy market? How are they ever going to resell that house that now has dropped back down in value? So this is where the emotion comes in. How high is too high? And remember, you truly work for your buyer's best interest. Your buyer's best interest may not really be offer $225,000 on a house that's $220. That may not be their best interest. That's overpaying. And is that really in their financial best interest? No, they may do it anyway, because everything else is getting multiple offers. So it's happening everywhere. And we're enjoying all this appreciation. But that's a question you need to ask. And prepare your buyers every time. This listing has multiple offers. That means there will be one winner and a whole bunch of losers. They're not going to get it. Everybody who loses out on that house, they're mad. They're frustrated. They're like, oh my gosh, it just happened again. Now we got to go start all over. There aren't any other listings to go look at, so you're waiting for more. And boom, 3 days later, another house comes on the market, and it's like piranha all over this listing again. Everybody who just lost out on the other house, here they are again. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So prepare your buyers. If they don't get that house, it's not the end of the world. There will be more, and there will be more. There's always more. So these are a lot of the tips in how to get your buyer to win in a multiple offer situation. But remember, the most important thing is call the listing agent and ask, what is most important to this seller? Now they might just say, well, it's going to be price, come in strong. But there might be more to it, and ask questions. What would be the most perfect closing date? Your buyer, if this is their first time buyer, and they're coming from an apartment or they're coming from living in their parents' house, they can give that seller any date the seller wants. And that is something that could really swing all this. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Have fun selling houses.